lot of youth got together into this youth summit and actually expressed their voice, because how can you change a community when you only have one group of that community, the adults? But you also need the children too. You need the teenagers, the little kids, because they have a voice. They want to see something happen.
My name's Annalisa, and I'm from the South End by Ocracoke, Rainier Beach area.
My name is Lorenzo Jansok, and I'm from White Center, Burien, Seattle.
My name is Trina Nguyen, and I am from the White Center neighborhood.
My name is Timnit Saleh, and I am from the Top Hat neighborhood.
My name is Joel Kane. I live in Arbor Heights.
We reached out into the community. We asked young people to come and get together. We want to get feedback about what they think is wrong in the community and what they see as issues and what they would like to change. We can talk to our friends if they see there's an issue that they would like to address. We can talk at meetings about it, and we can figure out ways to address that. And so that's what we're doing.
We got invited here because we were part of the Boom Summit, and the priorities that came up in the Boom Summit are things that we've been asked to follow up on. So again, going back to that summit, it was youth-led in partnership with some organizations that are happening in the neighborhood. And that is an approach that doesn't necessarily happen throughout the United States. It's like people think they know better than the neighborhood. They think they know better than residents when they really don't. So we try to influence initiatives and opportunities in the neighborhood to understand the value of resident leadership.
I'd like to see some more low-income housing. I would like to see some greener housing. I would like to see more solar-powered houses. I would like to see this, a more positive change towards our environment.
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of homeless people, so I'd also like to help them somehow. I'm not sure how, but that would be up there.
What I would change about White Center is the reputation that it has. Everywhere else that I go, I tell people I'm from White Center, and they get kind of scared. They say, I hear people get shanked there, which bad stuff happens, but I don't think that when I'm walking around that it's that bad. I love it anyways, regardless of the reputation, but I would change the reputation that it has.
I don't know, there's a lot of love. There's also a lot of, anger and hate. That's something I would change about it. Just like a lot of beef. A lot of people don't understand, getting together and have grown up and just with a lot of bad stuff happening to them. So it's really hard to, get together and stuff.
St. Fuges has a history of assisting at-risk youth. It first started out as a program that assisted Asian Americans. I found a lot of the issues that a lot of the youth that go through it right now, a lot of the issues that the young people go through right now, I've been through it before too. That were involved in gangs and criminal activity. But then as they noticed that more different cultures started coming into the area, they started assisting other ethnicities as well, such as East African, such as the African Americans, and as well as the Pacific Islander communities. So that's kind of the gist of the history that St. Fuges comes from.
I can give you kind of an example. My office is in Steve Cox Memorial Park, and we have some public restrooms that are right next to the children's playland. And every time they tag the restrooms, depending on what they tag them with, graffiti-wise, it can cost up to $500 just for the supplies to get that paint off, because they have to use a very special product. And that's not even like putting into the cost how much for the time and labor for the folks that are coming out and doing the work. So even if you were able to get volunteers that came out and scrubbed it out, that's still $500 to clean that building off. And there have been times when we've had that building alone tagged 4 times in 1 week. So it's $2,000 in 1 week to clean the graffiti off, which is, the equivalent to having the teen program open for 2 weeks. So it's kind of this balance, do you want to scrub the building for 1 week, or do you want to keep the free drop-in activities for the teenagers going for 2 weeks? Lighting in parks is a really interesting issue. On the one hand, you want to provide public safety, right? On the other hand, you have all kinds of neighbors that live very close to the park, and if there's too much light going on in the park, that becomes kind of a hassle for them. So frequently, we are trying to balance this issue of how do we make it a safe place, but not interfere with the daily lives of all of the neighbors of the park. Yeah, that is an ongoing issue, and that's actually something, CEPTED is a method where they go through and they review a park to try to figure out how to make it as safe as possible. Actually, you can do CEPTED with anything, with a building or a park or any kind of public space. And we've had a couple different folks come through to try to make some recommendations for us on how to find that balance. Like, how do we make sure it's light enough to see, but still not going to bother the neighbors? Or the other issue is if you have the lights, then somebody has to be paying the light bill, which when budgets are tight, that gets a little tricky.